Breaking news. The Brooklyn Nets have traded for James Harden to pair it with KD and Kyrie Irving. Brooklyn has traded a plethora of first-round picks and Karis LeVert along with Jarrett Allen. The whole deal is a four-team trade that also involves Cleveland and Indiana. The Nets received James Harden. The Rockets received the Nets' three first unprotected picks in 2022, 2024, and 2026. They also get pick swaps in 2021, 2023, 2025, and 2026. Houston receives Cleveland first-round pick in 2022 that at one time belonged to the Bucks. Houston will trade a second-round pick to the Pacers as part of the deal. Victor Oladipo is headed to Houston along with Karis LeVert. The Cavs will acquire Dante Exum, Jarrett Allen, and another player. It's a big deal that has sent the basketball world upside down. And the first question I want to ask, who wins this trade? Well, if James Harden can coexist with KD and Kyrie, and Steve Nash can handle all of them, which is a very hard task, I say Brooklyn wins the trade. However, and if they get to the NBA Finals. If they don't get to the NBA Finals this year, I could say that's a bust already. And as we all know, Charles Barkley famously said, Kevin Durant went from the Splash Bros to the Dribble Bros. That's kind of funny, I think. But anyways, yes, it's Brooklyn needs to at least make the finals, and they need to be able to coexist, and there can't be any off-the-court discussions or even on the court if they're fighting and they're arguing of who gets the ball or whatnot. They can't do anything of that. They need to get to work, coexist with each other, get along with head coach Steve Nash, and get to the finals. Then they won the trade. If not, Houston wins this trade easily. Why was Harden so pissed at the Rockets? Well, I think he was pissed because he for the first time heard no from the Rockets. I think that was pretty much the answer. I mean, when he got to Houston, he wanted Dwight Howard. Then Dwight Howard left. Then he wanted Chris Paul. Then Chris Paul left. Then he wanted Russell Westbrook. Then he didn't want Russell Westbrook, and Russell Westbrook finally left. And then eventually he said, you know what? I don't want to be here anymore. I want to go somewhere else. And the Rockets were like, well, we can't get anything else from you as of now, so we're just going to keep you in Houston. And we're going to hope you are satisfied. Well, that made him so mad because, again, he's not used to hearing no from the Rockets. And he said, you know what? I don't like this place. I want to go. And I think the Rockets made the smart decision, but at the end of the day, they really had their hands tied because James Harden just wasn't going to cooperate. No one else besides Brooklyn was going to make that trade because I feel like he wouldn't have wanted to go anywhere else besides Brooklyn, maybe Philly, but the Rockets owner, Hillman Fertitta, didn't want to trade him to his old employee worked because, as we all know, Daryl Morey is the GM and president of basketball operations in Philly. So I think if he didn't go those two places, he would have been mad and he wouldn't play for the team. So the teams didn't want to waste a pick. The other question is, will James Harden coexist with KD and Kyrie? I think he can. It's just the problem. I think he can coexist with KD because he's been his teammate before in OKC. But the problem is, the big mystery is Kyrie Irving. As we all know, Kyrie Irving has been distanced. He hasn't played with the Nets since January 5th. Now, there are reports that he could play tomorrow night versus the Orlando Magic, which would be huge. But he also got fined over $800,000 by the league and will miss 2 game checks because he just said, oh, I'm gone. And he didn't tell any of his coaches. Only the players really know that he has a relationship with. So as we all know, I think James Harden can coexist with KD, but Kyrie Irving is the big mystery right now. And a lot of people, including Stephen A. Smith, believes he should just retire because his focus isn't on basketball. I don't know if he should retire, but I definitely think he should get his priorities straight. And I feel like he's fine if he does other things around outside of basketball. But when it's time to play the sport he's supposed to be playing, he shouldn't be going out there and doing what he's doing. So I feel like James Harden needs to be able to get along with Kyrie Irving for them to succeed. But I do think he can coexist with Kevin Durant. How does Steve Nash handle all these characters? Well, it's crazy because this is Steve Nash's first head coaching job. Now, I think he was an assistant with the Warriors for a few years, but this is really his first job. Now, he's got 2 really good assistants in Mike D'Antoni and Jack Vaughn, but if he can handle all of them, I would say give him a Hall of Fame for the NBA coaches. I know he's going to be a Hall of Fame for players, one of the greatest point guards in his generation, probably one of the greatest point guards of all time. But if he can handle all of them, which I'm not sure he can, then I think he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame as a coach as well. It's really a good question because I don't know if he can handle all of them. I think he can handle Kevin Durant. He can handle James Harden, but I'm just not sure if he can handle Kyrie Irving. but we'll see. To be honest with you, I don't know, and I'm not sure he even knows right now. Is Brooklyn the team to beat now in the East? Well, I think they should be the team to beat in the whole league entirely. I know there's the Lakers. I know there's the Clippers. I know the Warriors have been hot as well. The Bucks, of course, with Giannis. But I think Brooklyn should be one of those teams because of what they have now. They have three really good players. All of those guys, well, I would say James Harden and Kevin Durant are clearly top 5, top 10. Kyrie Irving's top 15. But when you have three really good players, you should be in the conversation. So, yes, I would say they're the team to beat in the East right now. How far do the Nets go in the postseason this year? Well, they should go to the finals. I mean, that's the big thing. They should go to the finals. They should be able to beat the Bucks in 5 or 6 games. I think the Nets will get to the finals, but they'll probably end up getting beat to either Clippers or Lakers in the NBA finals totally. But I do think the Nets are going to likely play in the finals and have the talent to win a championship. So I think they can go to the finals this season. Thanks for listening to the Sports Town Podcast, or the STP Pod for short. You can find us on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and much more. We release new episodes every Wednesday and Friday. Also, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Sportstown Podcast. If you want to check out more videos of the Sportstown Podcast, click on the left. If you want to subscribe to the channel, click on the right.